What's up YouTube, KidMoto22 here, coming to you guys today with my bike camping pack video maybe? I don't know, I'm going to be packing my bike down anyway for my trip to South Dakota. And I'm going to start with my dry bag. This is the Aqua 50 dry bag. It holds 50 liters of various kind of supplies. It's actually the Oxford Aqua 50 is the real name for it. So the things that I usually put in my dry bag are the things that I know I'm going to have on the outside of my bike that I want to make sure that I have easy access to and that I'm going to be using for camping. Typically I put my tent and things like that in there. So I always put my tarp that I use for camping at the bottom of my pad, and then I'll put my tent in, my sleeping pad, and I usually put, like I said, the things that I know that I want to keep dry. So my pillow, in this case I put a heating pad in there, my tent. I also ended up packing a extension cord and then another plug-in for the extension cord. You're going to see right here that the Oxford Aqua 50 dry bag that I have is a little bit tight to actually get my tent in. And so I had to make some adjustments to get it into this bag. I ended up kind of pushing down on the end of the tent, and then I do end up getting it kind of fit into the bag. This, ironically, was a bit of an issue when I got to my campsite because it was a little bit tougher getting it out than it was getting it back in. And when I repacked my bike on my way home, I did not end up actually packing it in there. I used a net and put it on there. So I get the tent in there. And then I'm going to put my sleeping pad and then the rest of the supplies that I will be using essentially either for sleeping in the tent or at night. So I pack my sleeping pad, which in my case is an air mattress. I opt for an air mattress. That is a camping chair, and then I put in my heating pad that I use because we were going to be camping, and we ended up camping in temperatures that were below freezing, so 28 degrees was the first night. I really do like this type of bag. It's a fold top, if you know what a fold top dry bag is. So the bag actually in itself will fold over on the top, and that's part of the way that it keeps things dry. So the bag is made out of a waterproof material, and then you fold it over, it clips on the ends, and so you'll see me kind of clip it on the ends, and then it will also cinch down tight with the other connectors that go over the top. So you connect them on both ends, and then you're gonna connect it over the top, and then I will be cinching it down nice and tight on both sides, and that keeps it really nice and secure. This is a great bag. I've used this on multiple trips and I've never had any problem. Nothing leaks, nothing gets wet. So now I will be putting my Rick Rack bag. That's the bottom of the Rick Rack bag, and this goes on the King HD rack. So that top section that you saw there slides into the front of the rack against the back of the seat, and then it screws down on the bottom, so you can kind of see it sliding into the top of the rack there. It's a little bit difficult to see, but it fits in, and then there's two connectors that will slide down onto the end of the rack, and then they essentially cinch down tight. They have kind of a rubber mounting on them that goes onto the King HD rack. And it also has a nice feature that I like, that once you get it cinched down and tightened, there's a lock that comes with the Rick Rack bag, and you'll see I'm cinching it down here, and then the lock that comes with the bag is what locks it essentially right to your rack. The nice thing about this bag is it's very easy to put on and take off, and so when I did take a trip last year, I locked the bag on. When I got to my hotel room, I just unlocked the bag. There's handles on both sides. There's also a shoulder strap. I've not actually used a shoulder strap, but I just lifted it off and took it right into the hotel room. So it's a very good bag for the style of bike that I have. So when you have a Road King and you don't have a tour pack on there. So there's the lock. It goes over the King HD rack, and then it just locks down. It's just a standard padlock is really all that it is. The lock and the keys for it come right with the Rickrack bag, which is a really nice setup. I typically use the Rickrack bag to pack then the rest of my camping supplies, which would be, what you saw earlier, my perishables, that kind of stuff. And I also put my rain gear. I put my rain gear in the very top of this bag. That way it's very easily accessible when, if I would need to. So put my sleeping bag, I put all of my cooking utensils, I put my canisters for fuel in there that I use for cooking food, obviously, and then all of my perishables are going to go in there. So all the food and everything that I brought with me. I did pack my camping axe and a couple of knives in there also. I do typically pack my tools in this bag too, because again, they're just it's just easy to access everything that I need. The very front of the bag, where you can see the name Rickrack, also comes with another cover for the top of the bag that you can put on, which is a rain cover. The bag itself is not waterproof. I would say it's water resistant, but with the rain cover, it is waterproof. I have ridden with it with the rain cover on in rain quite a few times. I'd say 3 times, and never had any issues with anything in my bag getting wet. Because of the position of the bag, you're not worried about really water splashing up from the bottom of the bag. With the bags and everything, the hard bags and everything on your bike, you're not going to get splash up on the bottom of the bag. That rain cover will go over the top and over the handles over the bottom. So, and it does cover it when it's expanded too. So you can see the very top of the Rickrack bag is actually expanded and open about 2 more inches on the top. So typically this is how I pack. I have Saddlemen bag inserts that I use for all of my clothes that I put in my saddlebags, in my hard case saddlebags. I pack all my perishables and a lot of my camping gear in the Rickrack bag, and then I will put the dry bag on the back seat. So here you just see me checking for the bag to make sure it can open and close. Sometimes that dry bag can get a little bit off center, and also want to make sure that I can pack everything in my saddlebags, and I have easy access to open and close for any things that I want to throw in the top. And I do, again, put my clothes on there. So the Oxford Aqua 50 bag that I have here did come with these 2 straps, and there's actually 4 of them, and I use these quite a bit when I strap them on there. They're not bungee straps, and so they're not going to stretch, and so I typically go through the sissy bar or on the bag. And in this case, what I did was I went through both. So I went through the sissy bar and some fasteners that are on the back of the Rickrack bag, and then I put the 2 straps together and then tightened them down. So I had 2 points of tightening on the bag. And this just tightens it down to my seat, so you can kind of see me. I'm just kind of pulling both of them up there, and then I realign the bag, go to the other side, and do the exact same thing. So I'm strapping them, the straps to the bottom of the bag where there's some fasteners, through the Rickrack bag, through my King HD rack and my sissy bar, and then strap the 2 straps together. Now, in some cases, the Aqua 50 can act as a bit of a backrest too when I'm riding. So sometimes I will put the things that are kind of softer or padded towards the back of it where my back is going to be. But essentially, this is how I pack everything down on my bike. And you see me just kind of tightening it, checking to make sure it's not going anywhere and that it's going to be good and tight. Then I will tie the straps together, push them down to the seat, and make sure that those aren't flapping around and don't cause any trouble. This is how I pack my bike down for my ride.